Hello guys! Welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be looking at the Mr. Man. Oh, that was my foot. So, let's show you the first book, Mr. Tickle. And this is Mr. Greedy. In his belly, you can see how he's so greedy. And now I'm going to show you the Dillydale, the best person ever in Dillydale, Mr. Happy. He's the happiest person in the world. If you can hear me, shout. Or sorry. Mr. Nosy! He knows what you're doing. He really does. This is Mr. Sneeze. He'll sneeze you. Mr. Bumper. Mr. Snow. That's a common one, very common. Mr. Messy. Never heard that one before. And now, Mr. Topsy-Turvy. That's a long name. So he does everything backwards. Mr. Silly. I dropped the book. And then Mr. Uppity. He's mean, like Squidward. And this is Mr. Small. He's a small pig pen. Wait, oh my God! This is Mr. Daydream. He will make you daydream. For starting, he made me daydream once. Mr. Forgetful. And I'm gonna have to put these all back, I know. Mr. Jelly. Sorry, there's something up on my screen. Mr. Noisy. Mr. Lazy. Mr. Funny. Mr. Mean. And Mr. Chatterbox. There's a little Mrs. Chatterbox. Mr. Fussy. Oh my gosh. I can't get him out. Mr. Bounce, but he's stuck. This is Mr. Muddle. Yeah, got it. Mr. Dizzy. Mr. Impossible. Mr. Strong. He's the strongest person in Dillydale. Oh my gosh. Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Clumsy. Two different, that's the same. And this is Mr. Quiet. Oh, I should be quiet. And this is Mr. Rush. He's always in a rush. Mr. Tall. He's the tallest person. Man, this is getting too big. Mr. Worried. Too worried. Mr. Nonsense. Mr. Wrong. Mr. Skinny. He's so skinny. Mr. Mischief. I can't say it. Sorry, my English is bad. Mr. Clever. Mr. Busy. Mr. Slow. Mr. Brave. Mr. Grumble. Mr. Perfect. Mr. Cheerful. Mr. Cool. Mr. Rude. Mr. Good, Mr. Nobody.
You still need to put it back because
Yeah.
then at the end, once you get it situated, you can slide it up wherever you need it, right?
Yeah, but I know where to go.
Mr. Bounce. Sorry, I forgot
We
to
usually bring it up
show
to
you
the
this.
fireplace.
Well, now I have to clean all that up. Well, that's the end of this video, guys. It's like, just kidding. I got that. I got more. This is Mr. Adventure. Hello.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Mr. Forgetful.
oh, yeah.
Mr. Tall. Mr. Top.
Okay, wait.
Mr. Happy.
That's it there, right?
Mr. Small. Mr. Greedy. Mr. Tickle. You want to get that milk, you gotta tickle it out. Mr. Bump.
Right.
Mr. Nosy.
Partner all that.
Mr. Nosy. Kind of makes sense. So now I'm gonna put this all back. No. But I just realized, how the heck am I gonna put these all back? Oh, great! And now I have to put these all back. Okay, get the pipe cleaners off. Great. Well, I got a mess to clean up. Yay! Whatever I got to do. It's called Chucky R. Law. I'm gonna have to put book by book in it. So if you guys like this video, subscribe and hit the like button, and also bye.